To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
We are back. It's happening. Oh my gosh, I never thought this day would come, but here we are. Walt's World is back, better than ever, and new theme song, new logos we posted on Instagram and on our YouTube and all those places. And with this whole new change comes a new co-host. Unfortunately, Kaylee is not going to be with us anymore. She has a crazy busy life. She's finishing her senior year of college. She's interning in her PR program. She has like 2 other jobs, and life has just been too crazy for her. And she felt so bad about not being able to give you guys as much time as she used to. But good news is she's going to come back from time to time and hang out with us. But that means I'm not doing this alone, though. There's someone here to help me along the way to keep us on the straight and narrow with talking Disney stuff. A good friend of mine, someone you guys have heard before on Tuesday Treat episodes. She has been entrenched in Disney for several years as she's a former cast member. So she's going to bring a really cool perspective, I think. My friend, your friend, Kelly Campbell from Campbell's on Coasters.
Oh, hey, y'all. How's it going?
Aw.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm so honored that you're joining me on this journey. Like, I'm so happy you decided to do this with me.
Well, I think you should feel honored. I'm pretty great, so this is a good choice.
Wow, this is going to go great.
I'm super humble.
Go so well. Mm-hmm. Yes, so well. If you guys remember, her and her husband Josh were on an episode back, well, it seems like almost a year ago now, but back several months ago. Go back and check that out. And we talked about all kinds of different things. They joined me, and they've come and visited us in Tennessee, and we hang out with them anytime we're in Orlando. And they're just really great people and awesome friends. And there's literally no one else I would want to do this with but Kelly, honestly, because she is so stinking smart and a former cast member, and she's hilarious.
I don't know.
So
I think if I was as smart as you just claimed, I probably wouldn't have been a cast member, but shade.
Hey, there's
shade.
A good start to this, isn't it? So you had a great experience as a cast member, right? That's a great thing.
I did. I really loved working for Disney, but I'm glad to be doing what I'm doing now too. So
we're gonna have plenty of time to dissect your time as a cast member, but let everyone kind of know, if they didn't hear your episode, just kind of let everyone know who you are, how you fell in love with Disney.
I am a native Texan, born and raised in Houston. I grew up pretty much your typical Disney nerd story. I watched every Disney movie that came out in theaters or VHS or TV, whatever. Went to Disney World every year with my family. Tried a few times to get into the Disney college program. Didn't quite work out, but that's fine. And eventually moved out to Orlando and started working there. Not super exciting. Just, very average Disney life, I guess.
And now you guys literally just moved a few weeks ago back to Texas from Orlando.
Yes, almost exactly a month. Almost exactly.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
That is so sad.
It kind of is, yeah. We miss it a lot, for sure. We being Josh and I, who is probably pretty jealous that I'm doing this and he's not.
I don't think people could handle Josh every episode, so that's...
No, he's way too much. I can't handle
that's
him
a lot.
all the time, so we're not going to force him on y'all either.
But he'll join us on an episode from time to time, as will Krista, my wife. So if you guys have listened to the show before in the past, this is like episode 30 something, I don't know. But we're kind of clicking the reboot button taking the Nintendo cartridge out, blowing in it, and putting it back in the Nintendo. Restart here. We're gonna kind of do some of the same things in terms of like the having guests come on once a month and talk about like their Disney journey and why they love Disney, and maybe a project that they're working on that's Disney related. Like our good friend Matt, the bathroom guy, WDW Lou Review Matt, from like episode number 1 or number 2. Which is funny, actually. He was on episode number 2, and he's the bathroom review guy. He's going to be joining us again, and we also are going to have a special segment at least once a month from our on-the-ground reporter, our contributor there in Orlando. You may follow her on Instagram. It is Maria, Mini Maria Mouse on Instagram, or Lake Buena Visitors T-shirts. Maria is an incredible Disney fan. They make awesome T-shirts, and she's going to be hitting us with all the latest information for all the new releases and beginning of parties and stuff like that. And so she's going to be joining us from time to time as our little correspondent in Orlando on the ground, kind of like on the Weather Channel, those guys that are in the middle of the hurricane, getting blown across the street, that kind of thing. That's going to be her. In the middle of the crowds.
I was going to say, instead of wind, it's crowds, but there's still rain, so.
Yeah, it's still rain.
Yeah.
It's still rain. So she's going to join us from time to time for at least once a month to let us know what the latest things going on down in Orlando, that kind of thing, trying the new cupcakes, which there's one new like every single day, it seems like. But yeah, and we're going to have some new segments. We're still doing, like I mentioned, we're still doing the Tuesday treat thing, but we're not going to do it on Tuesdays because our episodes will not be released on Tuesdays anymore. As you know, this obviously was released on a different day. And yeah, so I think this is going to be really cool. I'm excited for this change. And yeah, so make sure you subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Walt's World Podcast. Let us know what you guys think of the new show for sure. And make sure you follow Kelly in all of her adventures over at Campbell's on Coasters on Instagram as well. Needless to say, it's always entertaining, the photos that they take in the parks. So anyways, today's episode, we're going to talk a few random things. A lot has happened since we last had an episode. D23 happened. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opened. Epcot is literally changing completely. Disney ears are now like hundreds of dollars and not just $30 anymore. Craziness is ensuing. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Epcot changes. A little old news, but it's still super, super exciting. A lot of things are with it. Basically, everything's changing. So let's talk about, Kelly, give me your favorite thing that's changing about Epcot.
My favorite thing that's changing.
Or a good thing. Some of the good things, in your opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The good changes.
I think my favorite's a little controversial, but some of the good changes, some of it really needs an uplift or a facelift for sure. I'm excited about the new fountain in the front. The new entrance is really exciting. Some of the Future World areas no longer to be called Future World definitely needs a new coat of paint. Looking forward to that. And I'm really interested to see how they incorporate this whole neighborhood idea.
Do you like that? What do you think about that neighborhood thing?
I don't know. There are some things that I'm interested in and some things that I have a lot of questions about, but I'm hopeful that they'll be diligent in their work with it.
Okay. Is that all? The end. What other good things?
That's it.
What's the I want to know what the controversial thing was. What's the controversial thing?
I am a real big Illuminations hater. I'm really glad that they're coming out with a new fireworks show.
How is that? Why is that controversial?
So many people love it. It's kind of like everyone was excited when Wishes went away, but I was like crying. Now it's my turn to be excited for Illuminations to go away while everyone else is crying. I never liked it. It really creeped me out as a kid. Still creeps me out a little bit. So I'm really glad to see it go.
Why does it creep you out? What is it? Because it's dark?
The globe opens up and spews fire. Why is that? Why is that visually okay? It just, to me, as a child, it was like them saying, the world's going to blow up, like, at any point. Yeah, that was just creepy.
I could see that.
I couldn't handle it. So I'm ready for something else that does not incorporate the world literally falling apart.
I don't disagree with the Illuminations thing. Honestly, I never saw it.
Whoa.
Am I a bad Disney podcast host for that? Because we were just always like, let's just go do something else. And honestly, Epcot, pre me being an adult, literally, I could care less about it. So, and that's honestly, and that was before like they had like Test Track, and Soarin' wasn't even like worth it. And there was really no reason to go to Epcot. So like we didn't really, and then now once Chris and I started going in like 2015, we would rather just miss the crowds to get to the bus to go to the resort than to stay and watch the Illuminations, which I feel like there's not a good view no matter where you are for either. So I'm totally okay with it going away. And I'll probably only watch the new one once, and then I'll be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, actually, probably same. I guess personally, I think there are a lot of other better things to do with my time while I'm there. Maybe living there made that a little different. Maybe once we're just going a couple times a year, that'll change. Like, I'll actually want to watch them because I won't have that opportunity. But definitely while we were living there, kind of felt the same way. Like, we'd rather get out of the park before the cattle herd heads out, or we'd rather go ride a ride while the line's down, or things like that. So we'll see.
I'm like you. I'm concerned about the neighborhoods thing. I feel like that's just like they were sitting in a room like, oh, we can't really call it, Future World and that kind of stuff anymore. We have to come up with something else. And so like some dude was like, hey, why don't we call it neighborhoods? Which makes, I don't know, whatever. But I feel like that is going to be, it just seems cheesy.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's just super cheesy. Like, do we have to call them anything? Like, can we not just, I don't know.
I can give them a pass for the neighborhoods title because, I mean, Epcot, if for some reason people have forgotten at this point, Epcot is a, what's the word? Anagram? No, that's not right.
It the letters mean words.
Yeah.
The letters stand for words. I don't know what that is either. I don't know.
I don't know why I'm blanking on that. Anyway, Epcot literally stands for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. So if they're going to stick with that, sure, neighborhoods kind of make sense.
I get that then.
But I don't know that the idea of making the neighborhoods have these like oddly specific themes makes a whole lot of sense. At least the themes themselves. I'm a little confused on that part.
Yeah, I think adding the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, some people are like, that makes no sense at all. But I think it kind of does with like the space theme and the energy theme a little bit there. They're going to throw that in a little bit. But then you've got like Mission Space there beside of it. And then the space restaurant. I think it's Test Track that doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah. At that point, Test Track doesn't make sense. But I'm one of those people who doesn't think Guardians of the Galaxy makes any sense either.
Well, it doesn't make sense in Epcot. That's for sure.
Yeah, no. I don't think it makes any sense in Epcot.
At all.
If they wanted to do like a space theme for a roller coaster, why wouldn't they just use an actual space theme? Like JSC is right down the street. Or I'm sorry, it's not JSC there. What is it? Kennedy Space Center is right down the road, basically. Why wouldn't they do something kind of related to that, since space is such a big deal for real people?
For real people, not just like trees and raccoons and trash pandas.
Yeah.
So some of the things that we're losing the electric umbrella. I know a lot of people are upset about that. Okay, I'm only upset about it because of the nostalgia of it. Because like when you walked in there, it was old Epcot. It was retro. It felt like it took me back to, like 8-year-old Jonathan. My name's Jonathan, not John. Walking into Epcot with this, like, I don't know. It takes me back a little bit. We're losing Colortopia, which I didn't even know was still there. And something called Nanoos Break. Do you know what that is? Nanoos Break?
No, I have no idea what that is.
It's something to do with nature. I don't know.
Wow, some fan I am. I really don't know what that is.
I don't know either. They're gone forever. And then we're temporarily losing Mouse Gear, which is like the only true gift shop at Epcot, like true Disney gift shop at Epcot, if you think about it. Club Cool, which these are all coming back. The Fountain View featuring Starbucks. Of course, Starbucks has to come back.
Right.
Character Spot.
Why is Club Cool coming back though?
Who knows? Because people need their Beverly and weird sodas that you can't get anywhere else. Wink, wink.
But there's that massive Coca-Cola thing over at Disney Springs,
right?
Okay.
And maybe they're just saying temporary just to make people like kind of forget that it's there and be like, oh, okay, it's just not coming back. Oh, okay, well, I'm not that upset about it. And then like the Character Spot, which is actually an awesome thing, but it'll come back in a different way. Penn Central, Heritage Manor, I don't know what that is. Art of Disney, I know what that is. But those are things not coming back again. What I'm most excited about, this is one of the good things, is the new Walt statue. I think that is going to be an incredible statue. And what's going to be the worst part, and what's cool is like you're actually going to get to walk up and touch it, which there's no other Walt statue at Disney World that you can do that. You can't do that at the partner statue. Disneyland, you can at California Adventure.
But maybe you should.
True. Probably if you want to stay in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, if you want to stay in Magic Kingdom, you should not touch it.
Don't touch it. So what I envision happening is, because it's on steps, so I envision people sitting there, which is fine, but I envision people like changing their baby in Walt's lap. Like I see that. I mean, they change them on trash cans anyways. So I mean, here, Walt, hold this dirty diaper while I change my baby. I just envision like just kids climbing on it, which just sucks.
See, I think it's just going to be a photo pass spot.
Oh, I hope so. But if it is, it's going to be one of those where people are constantly walking behind you or like standing right behind you and ruining the photo.
Oh, absolutely. Just like the partner statue.
Ruined.
Absolutely.
Ruined. Yeah. I'm excited about that though, because I think it's really cool. He's kind of looking out. It's just, Walt, I get emotional thinking about it. I'm excited about the change. I'm excited about the UK Pavilion becoming Mary Poppins, Cherry Tree Lane, and all that. I'm excited about that because I love Mary Poppins. I think it's going to be done really well. I'm not thinking like Hogsmeade at Harry Potter World or whatever. Well, but I think it's going to be done well enough to where you actually think you're walking down Cherry Tree Lane. I think that's definitely one of the goods. What about bads for you? What are some of the bads? We kind of mentioned a little bit, but
that's a long list. You want me to start?
Yeah, just start. Just go off.
Honestly, that Mary Poppins thing kind of hits on the majority of what my bad take is.
Oh.
I'm really not okay with the whole we need to turn every country or segment of Epcot into something related to some kind of Disney story. Like, as much as I love Disney stories, I think that there's room at the theme parks to allow for a park that isn't just inundated with IP. Like, I'm sure some other people have made this joke too, but Josh and I for the longest time now have been calling it affectionately Epcot, IPCOT, just because of the number of Disney IPs that are rolling out. I don't appreciate it. I feel like it's totally antithetical to the entire intention of that park. Like, to me, Epcot was always this amazing place where I could learn about anything in the world, like if I wanted to.
Like, I like to learn. I'm Kelly. I like to learn stuff.
Okay, if we don't just want to learn, how about eat? How about food? Like, it was so much about cultural experiences and even like technological experiences that I would not get to have just at home or without spending thousands of dollars to go. Well, okay, you're spending thousands of dollars to go to Disney, but
good point.
But without spending like exorbitant amounts of money to get to experience them on my own. I don't know. Epcot was just always, it was very culturally intuitive, I guess. And I don't feel that any of this like IP stuff has that same feel. It kind of feels like a slap in the face. Like if the whole point of Epcot was supposed to be a perfect community or a global connection, I don't think Mary Poppins is a global connection. She's not real. She's not true.
Isn't she though?
She's not.
She's real in all of our hearts.
But she, like, Cherry Tree Lane is not a real place in England, and it's not representative of a real culture. So it bothers me.
I used to be like you. I used to be closed-minded like that. And the reality is, like, we just have to accept it. It's more of a TED Talk.
No, we don't. I refuse.
It's more of like a TED Talk on our society as a whole in terms of they see people nowadays. We have to be constantly like entertained and constantly like our mind has to be we have to be stimulated constantly. But
you can be entertained by still telling true stories.
Kids nowadays aren't though. Think about it. It's very rare that kids are. Some kids are, but majority of kids aren't. And the parents who are paying for those kids to come, those kids aren't going to have fun at Epcot, which in turn makes the parent feel like they've wasted their money.
That's not a good argument because
it's all about money.
Nope, because it suggests that Disney is not capable of making things fun and entertaining unless they have a character face on it. And that's insulting.
But that's not true. They can. I agree with you. They can make things fun and exciting. But the kids don't see it that way because they could just go YouTube stuff about Africa. They could go YouTube stuff about England.
But my argument is that they're not doing their job then. If they can't do it. No. The Disney. If that's their point of contention, that kids don't think it's fun, then they're not doing their job well enough. They're not finding ways to make it fun.
Well, we can totally agree that we know Disney's not doing their job well enough in general.
Yeah.
So that's not up for argument. But I think that Disney, what they would say to this is, why can't we use our IPs to just enhance the cultural aspects?
Oh, you can. But there's a difference between enhancement and totally changing. You know what I mean? Like, like you can put hidden Mickeys everywhere. That's an enhancement. You can add little characters in different locations, but I don't think entirely okay, I will say, I think the Ratatouille ride in France is a very good idea. It's a way of presenting a real culture, French culture, through the eyes of a fake character. It's not creating a fake place.
Are you saying French people are like rats? Is that what you're saying?
No, but cuisine and culinary arts are a huge part of French culture. So that's acceptable. It's still France. It's not some made-up location. Like if I were to go a few blocks down and what is air quotes Norway is actually just Arendelle. That's not a real place.
That's true.
That's not representative of Norway anymore. That's representative of a fake place that they made up. And that's not...
That's true. See, that's messed up. And like if they did Coco in Mexico, that would make sense.
Make total sense. Fine. Yes,
it's
absolutely.
The Frozen effect that I don't agree with that either, but I agree with the Ratatouille. And I agree with the Mary Poppins in the sense that it doesn't take away from the fact that people can still learn about England and that it's just.
But that's assuming that they're going to do it right. Like if they're changing England to be Cherry Tree Lane, that's not appropriate, in my opinion.
I don't think they're changing England. I think they're just going to change the area where the band, that back pavilion, I think it's going to kind of, the street where it kind of starts there and goes back that way. I think that is what they'll just change. A facade. It'll be fake. You won't be able to walk in. Yeah, it's going to be a while, right? I mean, by the 50th, that's allegedly. What else bad?
I still don't really understand why they aren't adding some sort of African country.
Because you have Animal Kingdom.
That is not an acceptable answer.
Well, it's like, it goes back to the same thing. Like, parents will walk through with their kids and they'll be like, we just experienced this in Animal Kingdom. We don't need to spend our time here. And also because there's not, they don't, I mean, they have Lion King, but... John,
I'm going to cut you off there because you do know that there are more than just animals in Africa, right? There are people and cultures and
but not in Disney movies. Not in Disney movies.
You're right.
It's IP.
You're right. There's, yeah, you're right. In Epcot, there's no IP. No, yes, there is Wakanda. If they can pull some Marvel, if they're gonna pull Guardians of the Galaxy IP, then.
If you're mad that Arendele's taken over Norway, you're going to be okay with Wakanda?
No. This is me. No, this is me saying that there is an African IP if you want to pull that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You would just complain about that.
Oh, I would. Absolutely.
You're like the old lady, like, get off my lawn. You young whippersnappers. 100%. Back in my day, Epcot used to be boring and we liked it that way.
Oh, yeah. If I ever have children, they're definitely going to hear that all the time.
You're going to learn it. You're going to learn it. You're going to do the Agent P's thing. You're doing it. We're going to go around
back in my day, it was the Kim Possible experience. Yeah.
Which, side note, have you seen the voice actress of Kim Possible lately?
Christy Carlson Romano?
Wow. I'm impressed with that. Yes, her. Have you seen her lately? Yikes.
Whoa.
Yikes. Like no, she was also the girl that was on what was the show with Shia LaBeouf?
Even Stevens.
Yeah, she was on there, right? She was the older sister, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I would not have recognized her. I saw her on a video on YouTube and it was shocking.
Well, it's been a while. She's definitely older.
Yeah, but like people don't change that. Like I think she had like some bad face work or something, but like yeah, it was weird. Anyways, all right, one more bad because I feel like your list is like 30 long.
I think I'm gonna have to stop myself there, otherwise it'll just continue forever. My bad
is I have two really big bads. Number one is the whole water walk through Moana experience. AKA, hey, we've got some fountains and we want you to walk through it and count that as an experience, as an attraction. It's going to suck. It's literally like, hey, walk through the land ride, walk through it, but we're going to put Moana in it. That's kind of like what it is. It's not, but that's kind of what it feels like.
I mean, yeah. Epcot is a wonderful place.
The other bad is actually not something they're doing. It's something they're not doing. They're not doing anything to the Imagination Pavilion.
Yeah, that's just such a waste of space to me. I don't understand why they haven't done more with that.
Why would they not do something with that? And maybe they just don't know what the heck to do with it because maybe they feel captive by the Figment lovers. I love Figment. I would be mad if he wasn't there anymore because he's the only thing left of Epcot from original Epcot. So like maybe they feel like they're captive by Figment or whatever.
They don't care. There's no way that they're so concerned about Figment stands that they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, as much as I love Figment, I don't know. I do think they need to do something over there.
With all these changes, that's the one area they did not talk about, they did not mention or anything. So you're going to have all these new areas, but here's this thing that hasn't changed since the 80s. Like, It's just awkward. It seems super awkward. because it was rumored Inside Out was going to take it over, which would have been awesome. You could have incorporated Figment into it somehow.
Oh, absolutely.
And it makes sense for that to be there. I could see a Wreck-It Ralph type thing with like video games / internet like thing. I could see that there. I don't know. I just feel like that's my number one bad, that they didn't do anything with that area. It's just gonna be an eyesore.
So I have a theory about a couple of those things. I don't know. Maybe we should save it for later though, because it's technically a different park. I'll hang on to it.
Okay. Yeah. You just hold on to that.
Yeah.
That tease. We just teased it a little bit. It's teased. All right. So I think we broke that down pretty well. I think we covered the good, the bad, right? You feel good about that?
Yeah.
You feel like you got to say what you wanted to say. You got your little Epcot soapbox there. So while we were on our long hiatus, I got to go to Disneyland for the first time, and it literally changed my life. Kelly, you've been there. I had to go there. I went there for VidCon and for work, and I got to go to Disneyland. And first of all, let me just say I love Anaheim, just in general. I love that area. But I got to go to Disneyland Hotel. Krista wasn't there the whole time. She joined me a few days later. So I got to go to Disneyland Hotel and literally just spend a whole like evening there walking around and looking at stuff, touching stuff, smelling the smells. Right. Got to go to the Grand Californian, which is like unbelievable, over the top, incredible. Loved it. Downtown Disney, which being honest, kind of sucks.
Yeah. It's not the greatest.
If like Disney Springs, it's like massive. Like there's so much stuff. Downtown Disney, it's like, all right, I just walked 100 yards and now I'm at Disneyland. Like it kind of sucks.
They don't waste their time, you know?
No. But there's an incredible burger place there. I can't remember the name of it, but I ate there twice. It was so good. I can't remember.
And yet you didn't go to Jamba Juice. You went to a burger place twice, but you didn't go to Jamba Juice. That will never make sense.
I know. But the more, because every time I posted, like, where should I go? You and Josh were like, Jamba Juice. And it just made me not want to go there more. Like I wanted to go there at first, but then the more you guys were like, you need to go there. I was like, I don't know. I don't feel like it anymore.
That's the same thing people said Josh said about dating me. Too many people were telling him he should, so he didn't want to. But then he did, and it was perfect. So I'm just saying.
And he's not here to defend himself.
Oh, he would agree.
Would he agree, or would he just say it was called Black Tap Craft Burgers and Shakes? Okay. It was unbelievably good. So good. The wait was like 30 minutes to get in. It was so good, though. But yeah.
Well, since you keep talking about it, I'm not going to try it.
So. Okay, good. I don't want you to. It was incredible. And then for like 3 days before Krista got there, I went to downtown Disney, and then I would walk to like the gates of Disneyland and California Adventure and just like look in, because I didn't want to go in without her. Like I would just hold your hand out longingly. Yes, like, please, sir, let me just go in for a little bit. But it was cool because I could just stand there, and I literally just stood there in front of the entrance to the Magic Kingdom, looking at the train station and just taking it in. It was so freaking emotional. But let's talk a little bit about, it's Halloween time, right? So let's talk a little bit about Halloween Disneyland, Halloween Disney World. And this is the first time that I'm not going to get to go to a Halloween party for like in like 3 or 4 years. This year. I'm super disappointed about it.
No, it's the same for us. I'm really upset. Like I just spent the last 3 years going upwards of 8 Halloween parties every year, and I'm not going to a single one. I'm crushed. Mickey's Not So Scary is my everything. I absolutely love the Halloween party. I'm so upset that I'm not going to one this year. And even though Josh and I are going to Disneyland at the end of October, prime Halloween time, we are not going to be able to go to a party there either. So I'm super bummed. They sell out super fast there. I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
Word to the wise, if you want to go to a Disneyland Halloween party, buy the tickets as soon as they come out in like January or something.
Oh yeah. And that's we'll do a whole episode maybe next week about Disneyland versus Disney World, because I've got some legitimate like things to say about Disneyland versus Disney World, and they're not all good.
I was about to say, you already sound a little worked up.
I'm a little triggered about Disneyland a little bit. I loved Disneyland, but I've got some serious issues with Disneyland. But we'll talk about maybe next week. We can do that next week. This year is at Disneyland. It's called Oogie Boogie Bash, Disneyland Halloween Party, and then of course at Disney World it's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Have you ever done the Halloween party at Disneyland?
I have not. Last April was the first time Josh and I ever went to Disneyland. Technically, it was my second trip, but the time before that doesn't count. So I haven't seen anything Halloween related at Disneyland at all. Actually, I haven't even seen anything like holiday related at all at Disneyland. The closest I will get, which was probably the most magical time I could have possibly gone, was the first time I went, I was about 14, maybe 13 or 14.
Aww.
And it was what's known there as Bat Day, which is the unofficial Disneyland holiday for the goths of America. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I want to go back just to see that so badly. It's like at the very beginning of May, and it was incredible. It was just so many, and we had no idea. Like, we just literally walked into the park and just noticed, like, as the day wore on, there were just more and more interestingly dressed people all day. And eventually we were like, is there something going on? Like, why are there so many people dressed in all black or kilts or whatever? And a cast member told us, oh yeah, they do this every year. So I want to go back to that so bad. It's called Bat Day. If you're at all interested, I highly suggest looking it up because it's a lot.
Wow. Who knew? Man,
so that's the
Disneyland
closest
is so
to Halloween I've ever seen there.
That makes sense. So the Disneyland Halloween thing, it used to be last year, in previous years, it was called Mickey's Halloween Party. This is the first year that it's called the Oogie Boogie Bash. And I know Kaylee went last year, and we had a whole episode about it, but it pretty much sucked from everything that she said. Everything I've read, it was not worth going to. The parade, if you love the Halloween parade at Disney World, you will hate the Halloween parade at Disneyland. Previously, I have not heard about it this year, but I do know they've upped their game with the Oogie Boogie Bash in terms of, projections and experiences and things like that. So I think we're primarily going to talk about the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is basically the same every single year with very, very minor changes like ride overlays. Space Mountain is in the dark. Oh, it's always in the dark. But this time we just turned off, like, the one time that there's light, we turned that off and made music blare while you're riding it. Not music but just like generic Halloween music that we YouTubed and we put on loop. The Pirates of the Caribbean overlay, basically the same as last year, pretty much. They just added a female pirate.
Is that an overlay? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Not really. Right. Then the teacups, of course, the same as usual. I've heard that the Monsters Inc. laugh floor thing is not for everyone, but like that's one of those shows. I know Josh is the same way. Your husband, I could sit there like all day and just watch the show over and over again because I love it. Right.
Oh, yes, it's the best.
I love it. So basically what that is now is it's still a treat show. You walk through, but the characters are on the screen, or I guess the stage, and they are literally like, they're talking to people in line. They're talking to people who are just sitting there watching, and they're like making fun of people and like picking on people like they do in the show.
That's awesome.
Which sounds awesome.
I'm upset that they just started doing that this year because I would love to see that.
Oh,
The
it'd be so
first
funny.
time Josh and I ever watched that was like during a Mickey's Not So Scary, the first one that we went to.
Nice.
I don't know why we decided to stop in there, but we did, and it was incredible. It was so funny because they definitely put it on for Halloween. Like it was a great time. And then ever since then, it's just been a treat trail with like nothing going on, which is
it's a
kind of
great
a bummer.
treat trail.
But I'm really excited to hear that they're doing extra stuff during the treat trail because that makes sense. Not having everyone sit there for a long-ish show during a party, that makes sense. But it's nice to hear that they'll bring that back.
Yeah, I'm sad I don't get to do that. I'll be honest. The Halloween party, I'm fine. Like, I'm upset I'm not going just because it's become a tradition for Krista and I to go to.
Yeah.
But I'm not upset like in the fact like it's my world and I'm crushed. If it was the Christmas party, I would be crushed. But thankfully, we're going to the Christmas party.
And see, that's the one I could definitely take or leave.
It's because you have no soul.
I have no soul. Yeah, I think that's what it's coming down to.
Like we're recording this on the 30th of September, and I told Krista today, as of tomorrow, we are 1 month away from our Christmas tree going up.
That's disgusting.
November 1st, the tree goes up. Yep.
I could never live like that.
Christmas
My
music
Halloween
starts.
decorations will be up until Thanksgiving, basically.
That's fine. You could just decorate a Christmas tree with Halloween stuff. Our neighbors across the street actually did that. They have a Halloween tree that they've decorated. It's got orange lights on it and stuff. It's actually really cool. But Halloween party, that's just my opinion in terms of like the Disneyland versus Disney World parties.
I've definitely heard the Disneyland party in the past was not as elaborate as the one at Disney World. I can't say for certain because I haven't seen it. But I am kind of interested. I don't know if you've seen any people's stories from the new Oogie Boogie Bash, but some of it really does look pretty awesome. There's like an Oogie Boogie specific treat trail where Oogie Boogie is like on stage and does that same kind of thing, like interacts with the crowd. And that looks amazing. Like I would love to do that. Also the Cars Land overlay for Halloween. I don't know why it's escaping me. It's like
California Adventure.
Like,
Halloween.
Like towing. Yeah. Halloween. Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see like the decor for that, but the party in general just looks really cool. I haven't watched the parade. I've watched the parade in the past, like from Mickey's Halloween party that they used to have. And yeah, I really wasn't very impressed with it. Boo-to-you definitely kicks. Major tail. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what the new one looks like.
Yeah, I would say pretty similar to the same, if I had to guess. So we were going to talk about just merchandise in general. We're going to talk about, as I like to call it, Earmageddon, with the new like designer ears that Disney's going to be releasing that like 1% of Disney fans will buy. But I want to talk about, just real fast, let's just talk about our initial impressions of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I'm kind of throwing a curveball here.
Oh yeah.
Just real quick, I've only been to the one in Disneyland. You've only been to the one at Disney World. They're the same thing, essentially the same thing.
With a little bit of a size difference.
Yeah, size difference. And the position of some stuff is a little bit different. I will say I'm so glad that I went to the one at Disneyland in July because I felt zero need to be there at Disney World for like pass holder previews, even though we had reservations for pass holder previews. I felt no need, which was so nice to just like sit back and watch everyone else deal with that.
Yeah.
And
it was fairly empty when y'all went to Star Wars Land, right?
It was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and go first. So Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, we went in July, so it had been open for a little over a month when we had gotten there, and it was not crowded when we walked in. It was later in the evening, obviously, so that makes a difference. But we went to Docking Bay 7 for dinner. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. They didn't have any of the sporks that everyone was stealing because everyone had stolen them all. which I would have too because they were really cool. And the food was really good. Then we got the blue milk, which we are team blue milk. We did not try the green milk because everyone said it was bad. We didn't want to waste our money, but it's to the point. The blue milk was so good. I loved it so much. I like crave it. I crave the blue milk. It tasted like Flight of Passage smells. That's what it tasted like to me, which is a weird concept, but that's what it tasted like to me. It was so good. We got that like weird popcorn, the color popcorn, whatever it's called. We got that. It was really good. We did some of the shopping. I liked the fact that the shopping you had none of the same crap that you get everywhere else. Like you can get a stuffed animal bantha that the stomach literally opened up. The stomach of the bantha opened up like in Empire Strikes Back when Han had to open up the stomach to put Luke and him in so they didn't freeze to death. Like I appreciated that. A tauntaun. Sorry, whatever. Bantha. What's the banthas then?
Banthas are the lizard things that they.
Oh yeah. They had those too though. The tauntauns.
Yeah, they do have those.
Whatever.
Clearly not a fan.
Yeah, I'm so fake. I'm such a fake Star Wars fan. I said one thing wrong. But I liked all the little the toys, the posable Darth Vader, like the model that they like the posable model Darth Vader toys. That was fun. And we did the build a droid, which I know you'll talk about. Our droid, we built a BB-8 unit, and it is a piece of crap. We can't play with it because it just falls apart. Like it doesn't fall apart, like breaks apart. Like the head just comes off. It rolls, but it like once you stop on the controller for it to roll, it just keeps rolling, and then it'll stop. And then it just like rocks violently back and forth. There's no control to it. It was the biggest waste of $100 that we've ever spent at Disney, and we spent a lot of money at Disney. If we're saying that's the worst, and I know you have some opinions about it. The scale was just so incredible. The detail to every little thing was incredible. The sounds, you couldn't hear Disneyland anywhere else. You couldn't see anything else. You were just immersed in that area. I loved the live actors. I don't know if they do that at WDW, but Disneyland, they had like live Imperial, like guardsmen walking around and like accosting people and questioning them, which was awesome. The Millennium Falcon ride was really fun. I did not get nauseous, which was good, but we were both gunners, and we had a 7-year-old as a pilot, which was a nightmare. It was horrible. And if you're a gunner, you can't see the screen because you're having to look at the buttons to push. That sucks. But it was fun. I'd wait an hour for it. At least I'd wait an hour for it. I wouldn't be mad at that. So that was, I loved it. We went back 3 times into Star Wars Land and we loved it. We loved it. It was a good time. Kelly, let's take a deep breath, everyone. Hold on.
All right. Okay. We felt fairly similar on a lot of things. I did think that the detail was amazing. So we went, let me just start at the beginning. We went, I guess, technically opening weekend. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people had already been for like the AP previews at Disney World, but we went opening weekend right after we finished completely packing up our house and moving out of it. So we were exhausted, which probably didn't help. What did help, though, was that there was an impending hurricane. So there was kind of not really anybody still there. There were some. Like, it was definitely still crowded enough. Like, the wait time for Millennium Falcon was like 60 minutes, I think. There were still people, but we could walk around. Like, I could throw my arms around and not hit anybody, so that was kind of nice. There was definitely breathing room. So I think that helped. If it had been crowded, I would have been pissed off. The reason being, I don't know. It was really pretty. It was definitely well thought out, but it didn't feel very Star Warsy to me. Like, I don't think if there hadn't been such major indicators like the Millennium Falcon or specific, character items in the shops and things like that, I don't think I would have known what it was. Like, it didn't, I think because it was so non-specific, like it wasn't a specific location in the Star Wars universe, it made it almost a little confusing, I guess. It is very detailed. Like, the way everything is designed is really neat. Like, the kind of old warehouse feel in the shopping area was really neat. It just, I guess it kind of reminds me of Pandora a little bit. Like, without being told what I was walking into, I don't think I necessarily would have known what I was walking into. And that's a little odd to me. But it is what it is. I still love Star Wars. So what did make it fun was, like you said, like the shopping was really neat because it's not stuff that you find everywhere else. It's not the same. It's not even the same Star Wars stuff that they sell at the other stores. It was definitely all new. And very, very kid friendly. I think the shopping there is something that will be good for families, especially. It's a good way to introduce kids to Star Wars if you're working on that for whatever reason. All the plushes are really cute.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. We honestly didn't end up trying a whole lot of food there. It just didn't work out that way. We weren't there for very long, and it seemed like every time we went in there, we'd basically just eaten. So we didn't really waste our time. But we did, of course, try the milk. We got both. We got blue and green, and Josh is very team blue, and I am very team green.
Well, Josh is smart.
I loved the
taste.
green. I've heard a lot of people say that they don't like it, but I really love like tropical flavors. And the green is very tropical. I would say the blue is a little more subtle. It's very much like coconutty. If you like coconut flavors, it's a subtle coconut. It's not overwhelming. It's not ultra sweet. The blue milk, I would say the green milk is very sweet. So if you are not a super like sweet person, I don't know, maybe skip it. But I thought it was great. It's kind of a weird like smoothie texture. Like if you get a smoothie from Smoothie King, how icy it is, that's what it reminds me of. Like that's the texture to me.
Like an icy pudding, like a pudding ice with ice in it kind of texture.
Kind
of thick.
Pudding makes it sound weird. Yeah. It is a little thick. Like you can't really drink it through a straw. They gave us this straw,
really?
which I thought wasn't a thing anymore.
Weird.
But,
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't need it. A straw.
Yeah, no, we definitely did not need a straw. It didn't come up through the straw, so that was a waste.
It's weird.
It was paper at least, so I guess it'll disintegrate. But
yeah,
it just wasn't necessarily. You could drink it like just like from the cup straight, but I almost kind of wanted a spoon. Let's see what else. I had a lot of like very nerdy questions about it. Like there are things that I wanted to pick at because it was just like it didn't make sense, I guess, and I haven't heard a good description yet.
Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go down that road. How on earth are they making all of these lightsabers, which are supposed to be only for Jedi, that you make with kyber crystals? That you have to be a Jedi to get, or a Sith. I guess it could be a Sith too. They have to go through this whole like process, like this physically and emotionally and mentally draining process to even get them. How do they just have kyber crystals on demand for you to make, for a bunch of non-Jedi to make lightsabers? I don't understand. Someone needs to explain that to me. Also, that like TIE series cargo plane, like why not just make a TIE fighter? It's way more interesting than some cargo plane. I don't know. There were things that I definitely wanted to pick at, and I did a lot. If you watched my story at the time, if you follow me on Instagram and watched it, you definitely heard some of it.
The Millennium Falcon is facing east, and it never faces east, ever.
Oh,
it only faces west. How
would be
dare they?
that would be a Josh complaint. A couple things did make me excited though. I liked a lot of the throws to like, okay, if you haven't been able to tell that I'm a super nerd about a lot of this stuff, Josh and I are really big fans of the TV series, the cartoon series for Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and then Rebels. We really enjoyed those. I personally, my favorite character of all time is from Star Wars Clone Wars. Her name is Ahsoka Tano, and they have like a little Ahsoka character. And because that show is coming back, I'm super excited for them to do like more with her character. Like I hope she becomes a character that walks around. That would be really cool. Also some of the little like animals, like there's a loth cat in there that's really cute. He's sleeping, but he's still pretty cute. All of that kind of stuff. I do like those little elements that they threw in that are like definitely connected to various aspects of the series. Like I liked that. I just wish it was a little more apparent. Like those are things that I had to like really search for. Which maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's the way to do it going forward. But I don't know. I would have liked a little more in my face. It's like, this is for real. This is Star Wars.
It's all about the almighty dollar with the lightsabers. It's all about the money. I mean,
the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
I've totally forgot about that part. I'm just going to go on rants on other things that nobody cares about except myself. But the Millennium Falcon ride, I would not wait an hour for it. I don't know. Maybe you had a better experience. We kind of lucked out. We got to ride it by going through the single rider line at Disney World. We really lucked out. So I cannot say that this would happen for anybody else. But Josh and I got to ride it together. Even though we went through single rider,
nice.
We were actually in a group of only single riders. There was like this odd break in the line that they were just like trying to pull people quickly. So we got to go together, which was great. I was originally chosen to be a pilot. Josh was chosen to be a gunner, but he was more excited about it, so I let him be the pilot. I wish I had kept it because gunner kind of sucked. There's not a whole lot that you can really do. And to be quite honest, I don't know that any of it really affects how it goes. The two pilots, like Josh and the other woman that was piloting with him, they were both doing exactly what they were told, and we still crashed into stuff. So I don't know how that goes. I think it kind of has the same ending every time. But I was really disappointed in the way that it's set up. Like it definitely felt like I was sitting in the Millennium Falcon. Like it's visually exactly what I would anticipate. The problem was the visuals for the ride were really lackluster. Mm-hmm. If you're not in the gunner seat, there's really not much for you to see. You can't, where the screens are placed is very specific. Because I'm short, where I was sitting in the gunner seat, the pilot seat was right in front of me and tall enough that I couldn't see like a good chunk of the windows. Mm-hmm. So if you have like shorter people in your party or kids, honestly, they're probably not going to enjoy it if they're not sitting in the gunner or in the pilot seat because you can't see the screen. And the whole ride, like, even though it kind of moves with it, I wouldn't say it's enough to make it fun if you can't see the screen. Yeah. So you can hear stuff going on, but there's just not much visual if you're not like right in front of it in the pilot seat. So that was a little disappointing. I felt it was kind of a letdown, to be totally honest. I wouldn't wait for it. Honestly, as long as it's less than 20 minutes and somebody I'm with really wants to do it, I would do it again.
Get you a green note, get in line. Come on.
Yeah, nah. I am kind of sad that I didn't get to see more of the line. I bet that was really interesting. I didn't get to see the Hondo character. When you go through the single rider, it's like it's supposed to be like a back alley entrance. Like there's nothing to look at. Like you end up in this weird cramped hallway that they kind of shuffle you in from. There wasn't anybody in there, though, which was a little weird, like directing traffic. So it ends up splitting you can take the single rider line in two directions, but there was nobody there to tell us that we could do that. So we were all going left, but the whole right side was completely empty. And none of us knew that because we couldn't tell if we could like go through this door that went there. So just in case, if you go, there are two sides to the single rider line and you can take either one. It's totally fine.
Let's hear your R2D2. Let's hear about your R2 unit.
Are we skipping?
Building.
You're cutting me off.
No. Go ahead. Keep going. You just
keep
going.
My last complaint about it was we didn't get to sit in the little Millennium Falcon like lobby, if you want to call it that.
Really?
Like the hangout area. Yeah, where like the virtual chess and things like that. We didn't get to sit in there very long, so I didn't get to look at any of it. Like we were literally handed our cards and they called our color group immediately.
Yeah, that happened to us too.
And that was really hectic. Like that, they were not very straightforward about that, which was kind of because they cram everybody in there. Like all the groups go in there and they call your color group, and that's when you go.
Didn't it feel like just super rushed? Like once you get in that room, it's like go, hurry, go.
Yes.
Sit down, hurry, sit down.
They're definitely moving on a time crunch there, and you could feel it. That was a little off-putting too. But that's not the crown jewel of that area. The Rise of the Resistance is supposed to be like the main ride attraction. So I have
it's 15 minutes long.
My expectations are high, and I hope they know that.
It's going to be incredible. Everything I've heard about the people who got the media event, it was the little bit they got to see blew their freaking minds. It's a 15-minute long experience. That's just going to be incredible. I'm so excited about it.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I hope it's good.
So incredible. Let's jump real quick. Our hot take in terms of Earmageddon hot take time. Quick parting shots. You can now buy Heidi Klum designed Disney Parks designer collection ears priced at $600. 600. All right. These things have 150 sparkling, and I'm not going to pronounce this right. So Swarovski. So I can't. You
say got it?
No, you just want me to sound.
You
stupid.
did Swarovski.
Swarovski's crystals, and personally designed by the beautiful supermodel and America's Got Talent judge Heidi Klum. I'm reading this from Disney's website. Evidently, this is a ongoing thing that they're going to do for the next year, where they're letting these designers design these ears that are absolutely ridiculous. Heidi Klum's is September. October 4, Star Wars fans will have the chance to get their hands on a brand new Princess Leia inspired design by Star Wars actress Ashley Eckstein.
Yeah, she plays Ahsoka Tano, the character I was talking about.
That's awesome, but they're probably going to be stupid.
Oh, probably.
Involve
sorry,
the bun
Ashley.
hair, the hair that looks like cinnamon rolls or something. Coach is designing some. Loungefly, Vera Wang, Cupcakes and Cashmere, Joe Rohde, which those will be out of this world, probably weird. Kevin Rafferty, Carly Close, Lily Aldridge, and John Couture will be designing them as well, all the way through summer of next year. So is Disney merchandise just getting out of hand?
I'm going to say yes, because I only knew who about 50% of those people were, or brands.
I just assumed people would that are listening.
Okay, we all know who Heidi Klum is, but who cares what kind of ears she wants? Who's
ugly.
going after her designs? I don't understand. Where did she come from for this? Why Heidi Klum?
Evidently her and her new husband, not Seal, the new guy, did that. They got married there. Oh yeah. They got married at Disneyland, I think, maybe. They spend vacations at Disneyland. Evidently she's a big Disney person.
Yeah, so
I guess that's why,
tons of other celebrities.
Yeah, well, Heidi Klum, she's a model. I think that had something to do with it. And Disney is just desperate. They're desperate for attention.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
I think that's the real answer.
They're so ugly. They have dangly earrings. They actually have earrings. The ears have earrings.
Yeah.
They're so ugly. But it's out of hand. Irmageddon is what I'm calling it.
There are some of them that I get, like those designers that they've had contracts with for a long time or collaborations with. Those make sense. Like the Coach ears, I get it. I'm not going to buy them, but I get it. Same thing with like the oh, I guess they aren't making Dooney and Burke ones. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Why would they not make Dooney and Burke ones?
Loungefly, though.
Some of the others, I didn't know
Joe
Betsy
Rhodey.
Johnson was still in business, but I guess they would be kind of cute. Joe Rhodey makes sense. That
Maybe
some of it makes
bit.
sense, and some of it it makes me sick. Like it's just
Well,
so over the
here's my
top for no
question.
reason.
Will Joe Rhodey's have a Yeti on them, but the Yeti doesn't work?
Shots fired.
It's supposed to
I would
work, guys.
assume-
You're supposed to. It's supposed to be battery operated, but it just doesn't work, and it will never work for like 20 years.
Oh,
It's all good though.
she's
I'm
so
not mad.
sad. I'm mad.
I'm okay. I'm not upset about it.
No, I figured it would have his earring on it.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that one.
It might be. So, fun fact, there is a Joe Rhodey avatar figure in Flight of Passage.
There is, yeah.
It's probably not the way he's doing it, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's like ears kind of based on that, like his little character.
Or something Animal Kingdom kind of feel to it, maybe.
Yeah, since that's his baby.
Yeah, that's
it
his
makes
baby.
sense.
Yeah.
If you don't know where the Joe Rhodey character is, it's at the very end, like when you land and you're standing on that hilltop looking out over the ocean. He's like sitting on the edge of the little cliff top there.
There's also I just lost all train of thought. There's also a Jack Sparrow character in Soarin' on the island, standing on the beach.
I did not know that. Oh, I'm gonna have to look
You're
for that
welcome.
now.
You're welcome. You'll see a figure standing on the beach, and like as you go over the beach, and as you're about to go back over the ocean, down to the right on the beach is a character standing there, and it's Jack Sparrow.
Oh, that's funny. That was a good idea.
There's your little info for you all right there.
Yeah.
That's it for the first new episode of the new Walt's World podcast. Thank you, Kelly. How, did you have fun, at least for your first time?
Yeah, I got to nerd out and bore the hell out of people. So
That's right.
It was great.
Everyone is now asleep and turned it off or turned it off like 20 minutes ago.
You're welcome.
Good job.
For my ASMR session.
But we'll be back next week with another new episode for you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging on with us for so many months without an episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, y'all.